let's keep it pushing because I think we have a ton to get here in the main event, and we
Yeah,
have to
let's
go
do it.
round by round.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have to.
Oh,
So
yeah. Because for the fans, we disagree on the scoring with the judges, but also with each other.
Yeah, I mean, which proves how proves how close this was. I'll just leave it at that. We got Israel Adesanya, Stylebender. I mean, one of my favorite fighters in the entire promotion, in the entire world, any promotion. Minus 280 favorite, coming in as the champ over Robert Whittaker in the rematch. He already holds one win over Whittaker. Whittaker clearly established himself as 1A, as the number one contender.
Yes,
There's no
yes.
argument.
I think that should be said. It's important that that's said.
Like it's almost like a Covington Usman situation here. And we got plus 225 for Whittaker, which I honestly thought was a little hefty. Like I thought maybe plus 180 for Whittaker.
Yeah, I was at plus 190 in my head. In my head, I was at plus 190 minus 240. That's how I saw this.
I'm also, I guess you could say I'm hedging my bets and trying to have my cake and eat it too. I also thought Stylebender was going to win the fight. So, hey, whatever, however you interpret
I thought he'd win, but I didn't think it'd be easy, you know? And granted, I mean, as we'll get into it, it's not easy. This fight was close. This fight was close.
I guess we'll just dive into round by round here. Round one, I had a 10-9 Adesanya. I thought it was the easiest round to score. It was the widest margin. It was the best round for either fighter. And
agree with all those.
Whittaker. I mean, honestly, not only did he drop Whittaker,
had him in trouble.
It visually looked so similar to the first fight.
Right.
It only lasted a round and a half.
And Izzy even was like, I caught you with that.
Some argue that Whittaker was knocked out twice in 7 minutes.
He might have been.
That argument either. Yeah,
like I'll hear it.
There's some meat on that bone, but yeah. So I mean, round one, all Stylebender. I think like the least controversial round of the fight. Nobody's really going to argue that. But that's where consensus ends. I mean, this is where debate starts, controversy starts.
I think that's fair.
Even on the judges' scorecards, I think round two is the crux of where the kind of fork in the road. It's where this.
I thought
let's get to it.
I saw two to Izzy. I know Whittaker got the takedown, but really didn't hold him down for much time at all. And then I thought proceeded to lose the rest of the round.
Very close round. I value the takedown. I do fully admit he didn't really do much with it. But also he had a lot of leg kicks, but also he had a lot of success with the hands too. Because, I mean, Stylebender did win the striking numbers, and there is a strong argument for giving Stylebender round two. But it's not like he didn't do anything with the hands. He did a lot with the hands. He landed some big shots. He had success with the leg kicks, and he had the takedown. Close round. I think each side has an argument. It's very subjective. I mean, you can go either way. I gave 2 for Whittaker. And I think one judge gave 2 for Whittaker, right? Or is it 2 judges?
I'm looking it up right now, just so I have it in front of me. I'm almost
no
there.
Worries.
But so I agree with you that round 2 was super close and that Whittaker did just about everything he could do, right? But in that same coin, I think that Izzy just barely outnotched him in round 2. One judge out of the 2 gave Whittaker round 2.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, paints a good picture.
Hey,
right?
but that's the same judge that didn't give him 4 or 5.
I know, I think that's what we're getting at here. My scorecard, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag, combines. Which is why I don't feel like I'm out of line for reaching my conclusion.
But the other 2 judges did give Whittaker 4 and 5, and so did I. So that's why I feel like 2 or 3, essentially I feel like 3 is a repeat of round 2.
And a lot of the Twitter scorecards were giving Whittaker 3 and not 2.
But see, I could see 3 going to Whittaker. I can see that. I still gave it to Izzy.
I gave 3 to Izzy too, which is crazy. Which I mean, I was objective. Hell, you could say I'm not objective because I'm a big Stylebender fan. So I mean, who doesn't like Rob Whittaker, right? But I'm saying, so round 3, I gave it to Izzy because the takedown defense was so much better. The body and leg kicks. You can say just the body language, the cardio, if you want to interpret Stylebender as being fresher. I thought round 3 was less close and easier to score than round 2. Now, other people disagree.
I thought round 4 was the closest round of the fight, if I'm going to say the closest round I had scored.
See, I'd say round 2 was probably the closest round, but
I mean, judges might agree with that.
2 through 4 were fucking murky.
I agree.
I mean, 2
And
through
I
4
split
were
two.
murky.
I split it 2-2 after those. I thought it essentially came down to who won round 1.
So I have it
29-28 Izzy.
after 3, and so
I have it.
or no,
I have
you
it 30-27. Yeah.
Don't
But
love
see,
that.
I give round 4 to Whittaker, and I think it's close to round 3, but I think Whittaker starts winning the exchanges.
Back. Well, no. See, to me, all right. This is how I.
Yeah,
round 4.
right. Yeah, and
The
yes,
striking was pretty much even. I don't know if the numbers say that. My eye test said that. Striking pretty much even. You know, for the most part, pretty goddamn close. But then Robert Whittaker took Stylebenders back for like 90 seconds,
right.
2 minutes?
Probably about a minute and a half.
Yeah. So, I mean, I thought that was the deciding factor. That's why I don't think round 4 was hard to score at all. That's what I thought round 4 was Whittaker all day, every day, which so did the judges, right? And I mean, that's pretty much the most consensus round. We agree, the judges agree, right?
Yeah. Every judge gave round 4 to Whittaker. No. One judge gave round 4 to Adesanya.
Which I don't love. I don't love that.
See, I thought Izzy was winning on the feet at first. Whittaker then won the middle of the round, and then I thought it was pretty even to end the round. So I thought Whittaker won from his dominance on the ground specifically, but the rest of the round was close if Izzy wasn't winning. So, fair. His 2 minutes were more valuable than...
Round 4, Whittaker's probably best round. Or round, you could argue round 5 is Whittaker's best round. I mean,
I think round 5 is his best round.
Yeah, because, I mean, he got the
takedown. I think round 5 is the most... I think that's the most clear cut aside from 1.
The only thing I didn't love about round 5 is a lot of the reason why it looked good for Whittaker was just kind of the neutral positions, but he had Adesanya up against the fence. I'll take Whittaker having his back in round 4 over the clinch of round 5. I mean, I gave them both to Whittaker, so I guess we're splitting hairs here.
What's crazy is one judge gave both those to Izzy.
You see, I think that's
that's the same judge that gave Whittaker 2.
Yeah, man. So I pretty much combined all the glass half full Whittaker moments on one scorecard. Pretty much.
Yeah.
I gave Whittaker 2, 4, and 5, which isn't out of line. No, I'm not super bullish on that. I didn't come away from this thinking it was a robbery. What does your final scorecard end up being? And then we'll get
48-47 Izzy.
2 judges agreed with you. And then one judge you say with a 49-46 can go fuck himself. That's just not even being objective.
Well, especially the way he scored it.
Yeah.
If he had given 5 to Whittaker and then given 4 and 2 to Izzy, or given 4 to Whittaker and 2 and 5 to Izzy, I'd say, okay, we can at least talk about how he got there. But the way he scored it was how'd you give Whittaker 2 but not 4 or 5?
I legit don't see a way you don't get.
Because if you give him 2, you have to give him 4 and 5, in my opinion.
Well, I don't see how you So I don't see an argument from 4 and 5. Whittaker won 4 and 5.
Yes, I agree.
Now round 2, even as a guy who gave it to Whittaker, I'll hear your argument. I think it's a coin flip, whatever. Not down on any hills for round 2. Round 4 and 5, I'll go ahead and roll out the hill. Now, where it gets a little interesting and where I think we're on a slippery slope here that I don't think MMA wants to flirt with too much. A lot of Twitter rationale, podcast rationale, reactionary rationale was kind of the old school boxing approach where to beat the champ, you have to dominate the champ or knock out the champ.
I disagree with that logic, to be quite honest.
I disagree with the logic. I hate the logic. I think it's a slippery slope. I think it's something we don't want to go to or flirt with. And I think if that's your argument, then you're almost defeating your own argument and admitting that Whittaker won.
Right.
I don't want to hear that argument. You're telling me that
that
Whittaker won when you make that argument, which is the main argument I'm hearing for Stylebender.
See, that's not the argument I'm making, is that I think he just...
I'm not accusing you of that.
Yeah.
But most of the Twitter geniuses and YouTube geniuses out there, which I consider myself a Twitter and YouTube genius too, but seriously, almost the only argument I'm seeing for Stylebender is the whole Whittaker didn't knock him out or that. I mean, you score round by round, he doesn't get a special little caveat.
Right. No, I'm with you, man. For those people that are saying that, that's not how I see it, right? And I don't think that's how it should be viewed to expound on it. Yeah. Right, yeah. So like I think that's a dangerous way to even approach fights. I think the judging last night was extremely suspect. Um, the Robert guy was not one of the judges. Uh, one of the other refs, Jacob Montalvo, was one of the judges that scored at 48-47. Doug Crosby scored at 48-47. And then the other guy that was another, so Mike Beltran was a ref, obviously, last, Beard. He's the one that scored 49-46.
I don't love it, man. I don't love it. A lot of people scored that fight for Whittaker, like a lot of respected people. A lot. Now, I think the verdict scorecard, like which is the online like fan judging platform. I love them. I love what they're doing. Interesting concept. They came down on the side of Izzy, which I thought was a little interesting because like they came down on the side of Sandhagen. They usually come down on the side of the more controversial take, but it
I,
was super close. It was super close. It was the round one. But see, verdict does 2 decimal points worth of like, and Izzy won round one by so much that it like widened the gap on the verdict scorecards from the decimal points. That's how he won on the verdict scorecards. Um, Razor thin fight. I don't want to scream robbery because it was that
oh, it's
close.
definitely not a robbery.
Also feel really like good about my Whittaker picks, and I'm caught in the middle. I'm not rolling out the hill, but at the same time, I'll argue my Whittaker picks and defend them and put my name on it. And I think Whittaker won the fight.
For
I'm a
sure.
big
Well,
Stylebender fan.
I think to me this is a lot like Volkanovski Holloway, where if we see a third one, I'm not mad at the third fight.
It's Volkanovski, Holloway. It's Usman, Covington. It's 1 and 1A. That's what we
Yeah,
have here. The 2 best guys were in the ring.
exactly right. Yeah.
For sure, man. Hey, man, love you, brother. Hope everybody had a good Super Bowl weekend. Hope everybody enjoyed the fights. Go subscribe to YouTube, Beefy Boys Breakdown. Appreciate you, man. Hope you have a good rest of your day.